Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new tutorial for you. It's an in-depth how to do your face basically, and we're concentrating more on contouring and highlighting and all that jazz. So if you want to see how I get to this face basically every day, then keep on watching. Now that we're close and personal, let's just jump into the video. I just did a sheet mask, so my face is kind of prepped, but I'm still gonna use the Nivea aftershave balm. You haven't seen this for a while now on my channel, but it's here, it's still here. Just gonna put a tiny little bit on my face. And after I rub it and I feel it becoming tacky, I'm gonna start patting it in. Gonna give it a second to soak into my skin and not be sweat. In the meantime, I'm gonna prep my lips with a bit of Carmex. I have a new favorite that I fell in love with, and it's the NYX Dark Circle Concealer. It's based on an orange pigment. You can't really see it going on because it blends into your skin perfectly, but it cancels out all the darkness, the blues and the violets. I'm applying it with my finger because when I touch the product with my finger it melts a bit and it melts better into your skin. Now I'm gonna go with the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer in yellow. It's a long name. I've had this guy for so long now, and I've tried finding something else, this yellow pigmented, but nothing is as yellow as this one is, but I'm gonna still try. If you have some suggestions, please leave them down below. And I'm just gonna cover my darkness and redness around the nose, and maybe if you have pimples or something like that, you should cover that as well. Taking a beauty blender, this is the Real Techniques beauty blender, and I'm gonna pat that in. The thing I don't like about this concealer that it leaves some kind of, I don't know, thingies on my face, but it's not that big of a deal. I can just take a synthetic brush and take them out. Now I'm gonna mix my foundation. I'm using the Lift Lumiere from Chanel and a bit of Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And because my skin is dry, I usually like to add a drop of oil or serum into my foundation. It makes it glide on more easily and blend perfectly. I think I told you about this trick before, but never hurts to say it one more time. I'm not gonna bore you with how I apply and blend my foundation because you've seen this many times before today, so I'm just gonna skip right through it. Okay, foundation done. I look finally a bit better. I like to first cream contour and then put on my concealer because then I have to set it and I have powder all over my face. For cream contouring, I'm using the Sculpting Touch from Kiko in number 201. It's a very dark color, I know, but it's very cold and it was the right undertone and shade, so I still bought it and I put a tiny little bit and then blend it. So firstly, I go on under my cheekbones with a very thin line because after that I blend it. If I need more, I can just add, but I don't want to go too much overboard with it from the beginning. And the same on the other part. If you want to carve your cheekbones really much and you want to slim your face, you should bring your contour closer to your mouth. I don't really get it that close because I don't really need it because my cheekbones are very accentuated by themselves. And also, if you don't want a lot of contour, just a little teeny tiny bit, then you can just go till there, and that's it. Then I go under my chin and jawline, and on the forehead, almost connecting it with the under cheekbone contour, and a tiny bit on the nose. Just like so. You could go under your lips to make them look bigger. I don't usually do that, but I'm just gonna do it for the sake of the video. And contouring here will make your chin smaller. Basically, you're doing surgery to your face with this kind of contour. I'm just gonna add a bit more here. So that's about it. You can go and blend it with a beauty blender, but I just think that with a foundation brush it's much easier. So and this is so creamy that I can get away with it. One more tip, I wouldn't suggest doing as I did your whole face and then starting to blend it, because it will be much harder to blend. You could just go one cheekbone and blend it, or both cheekbones, and then everything else step by step. This will make your life so much easier. Especially if you don't usually cream contour and you're just starting, you should start with a teeny tiny bit and see how it goes from there. When blending your contour on your forehead, you should go in this kind of motions as well towards your hairline, so it looks more natural. Because cream contour can get really crazy real fast, you can always correct some of the mistakes you made. You can go with concealer, or better with foundation, on a beauty blender, taking a tiny little bit and going under your contour. If you went too low, to clean it up a bit. And carving your cheekbone even more, and on top if you need to, depending on how you messed up, or if you don't like it and you think it's too much, you can always do this. I see that my contour went a bit too low on my forehead, so I'm gonna do that same thing on my forehead, cleaning it up a bit, especially in the middle. Moving on to concealer, because I don't like my very big and accentuated dark circles, I usually use one or two or more concealers. First I'm gonna go with the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. It really is very high coverage, and I like the way it blends. It's a bit heavy, but I don't mind. And I usually use this to carve out my face even more and highlight it a bit. And then I blend this with a beauty blender, as you can see. Now I'll go over it with the Age Rewind from Maybelline. Now moving on to powder. I'm gonna set my under eye area with the loose powder from Rimmel Match Perfection. You already know. And you also know that I go with a dampened beauty blender under my under eye area, and then right away I set it with loose powder. Then with loose powder I go over the highlighted areas on my face. After that I take my E3 from Morphe and take a bit of loose powder and set my whole face. But I'm not touching the under eye area because I want it to bake a tiny little bit. Now that my face is set, I'm gonna go with powders. I'm gonna take the Hoola bronzer to bronze and accentuate my contour even more. You know I like a strong contour and bronzed up face. I'm just gonna take my E34 from Morphe and go over the contoured areas. Because you cream contoured before, you don't have to go with a lot of bronzer and contour powder just to set it and define it. You've also seen me do this 1,000 times by now. I like to go on my eyes as well to give them a bit of color and definition. I'm gonna take the tiny brush that came with the Hoola bronzer, take a bit of bronzer and contour my nose, just a tiny little bit, under my nose and under my eyebrows as well. For a three-dimensional blush, I'm gonna use two blushes today. First I'm gonna go with a more mauvey one, this one you know from Inglot, and take the E4 from Morphe and go on the apples of my cheeks, but blending it into my bronzer. And more in this area than in front of the face. And the same here. By the way, all the powders I used till now are all matte. And now I'm gonna use a lighter and more bright blush, and this is the L'Oreal blush in 160. And now I'm gonna concentrate it on top of my apples of my cheek. If you wanna carve out your contour even more, you could just take your already dampened beauty blender or a sponge like this with a flat side and take a bit of loose powder and go right under your contour to curve it even more. Do you see the difference? I use this technique to carve out my eyes as well when I'm doing the angled look, and you can go on the sides of your nose as well to snatch that contour in. Just like so. Taking again the E3 and my Stay Matte from Rimmel pressed powder, and I'm just gonna go under the contour to clean out the harsh edges. I am taking the bronzer brush and going over just a tiny bit, not picking up any more blush, and taking the loose powder off. And we're almost done. Let's just highlight. I'm gonna take the Soft and Gentle from MAC with a fan brush first and just go on top of your blush and bronzer, and forming a little free and in the middle of your forehead to bring more light and glowiness to your face. After I do this, I go with a more dense brush for highlight, picking the same highlighter, or you can pick another one as well, and just concentrating it more in some areas. Going under your brows, on your tip of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, inner corners. And this is practically it. Just gonna set my face and we're done. Actually, I started using a new technique. I saw Laura Lee using it. After I spray on my setting spray, I take a powder puff and just tap the setting spray into my skin. This is a great technique, especially if you have peach fuzz or little hairs on your face, and it helps not seeing them as much. And this is it, guys. This is all for my in-depth skin tutorial, especially the contour and everything. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching and thank you for being with me, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked it and I hope you enjoyed watching me do my face. Go give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. Subscribe to my channel for new videos and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Bye.